You're watching Channel 11 WPXI TV, Pittsburgh. This is Channel 11 News Night Beat with Mike Hambrick and Roxanne Stein, Sam Nover with sports, and Dennis Bowman with the weather outside. Now, Channel 11 News Night Beat.
Good evening. In the news tonight, warm thoughts about the closest you're going to get to comfort in Pittsburgh tonight, especially if you have to spend any time outside. If you do, here's what to expect. Dropping temps and high winds combine to make it feel like somewhere between 20 and 40 below. The actual temperature is expected to drop to about 10 degrees tonight. Needless to say, it is certainly a night to bring in the pets, cover the plants, and do whatever you need to do to make sure your car starts in the morning. If you are looking for some sympathy, don't count on the folks in Buffalo to provide any. It is worse there, particularly along the shores of Lake Erie. 60-mile-an-hour winds caused a great deal of flooding, shutting down major roads, forcing a lot of folks from their homes. Some had to leave by boat, and there is no let-up in sight. The high winds and frigid temps continue to beat down on Buffalo tonight. Officially, it may be autumn, but try to convince the folks there of that tonight. Roxanne?
And like it or not, it's probably time to get used to this freezing, blowing weather. The Pacific Northwest, used to getting rain, got snow. And they're bracing for another cold wave, which we may feel in a few days. Roadways there are described as being one giant popsicle, as traffic was slipping and sliding all over highways from Portland to Vancouver. Roads were so bad, schools were closed, and there's more on the way. With the onset of the winter weather, the snowplows are ready to go, and everyone's preparing for more of the nasty, cold stuff. And tonight in Pittsburgh, 10 emergency shelters are open to help the homeless. Night Beat reporter Cynthia Fodor is with a live eye now at one of those shelters on the north side. Cynthia?
Well, Roxanne, it is so cold out here tonight that hundreds of street people have turned to these shelters for the very first time this year. Now, hundreds of them are trying to stay warm tonight, and this is the best place they could find to do that. This shelter here on the north side will be open all night long to take in men who have no place else to go. Okay, we're going to go to Dennis right now, and he's going to tell us what we can expect tomorrow morning.
Well, what you see outdoors is pretty much what you get, Cynthia. It's been snowing most of the evening here in Greater Pittsburgh, but it's not the kind of snow that seems to want to stick. It's a whole different ball game the farther north you go from Pittsburgh. We've prepared this little map to show you how the predicted snowfall pattern is going to go. They may get 10 inches or more up in the northwest corner of Pennsylvania. They have a half a foot on the ground so far at Erie, and a foot or more is possible just south of Erie, in the vicinity of Interstate 90. Now go south of there, and the possibility in the mountainous regions north and east of Pittsburgh exists for 6 to 10 inches of accumulation. So far they have just a couple of inches on the ground across Mercer and Crawford and Clarion and Butler and Jefferson counties. And in the greater Pittsburgh area, we just expect an inch or less. Go to the Laurel Mountain regions, and you may see a half a foot of snow or more. Bitter cold wind chill temperatures, as Roxanne pointed out a few moments ago. And now let's go back to Cynthia Fodor downtown. Cynthia?
Thank you, Dennis. As I said, in these shelters are hundreds of people tonight who had no place else to go, and I was able to talk with some of them a little earlier.
They charge a dollar, which ain't too high, but if you ain't got the dollar, it's hard to get to.
Elmer Richards is one of 150 homeless people on the north side alone. Robert Schwartz, an unemployed photographer, recently joined him.
Not very much fun, especially when you don't know anybody and nobody really seems to want to talk to you or even care.
From now until spring, these shelters will be filled with not only men, but women and children. Others on the streets tonight, for different reasons, had minor complaints. With no time to adjust to the cold, some are unprepared.
I got to get my snow tires on the car, got to get the antifreeze checked, and I got to get more things for winter, like more gloves and long johns and things such as that.
Public Works crews checked for icy spots on the roads tonight. The salt trucks and snowplows are ready for action.
Our original projections were that we would have 55 inches of snow this year, and that is about 10 inches greater than normal. So we did stockpile pretty good this year. We have about a 20,000-ton stockpile right now.
Well, with all of that salt and about 20 crews who are going to be out all night monitoring the highways and monitoring the weather situation, these roads should be pretty well cleared by the morning rush hour. Mike and Roxanne, back to you.
Thanks, Cynthia. Nonetheless, it's a big jolt when you
Boy, I
get the
mean
first
it
blast
is.
of cold air.
That's right. All the snow and cold has created a lot of problems for those trying to travel to areas hit by the storms. At Greater Pitt, for example, flights were canceled, delaying thousands of travelers. You only had to look at the faces of people stuck at the airport to begin to feel the frustration caused by the snow.
We're supposed to get a flight here at 28 or 2 to go to West Palm Beach, and we made it late. The plane took off.
What are you going to do?
We're going to do something. We're trying to get a flight to get out of here.
They're going to put us up for the night and feed us, I hope. What else can I tell you? And then I'll call my office and tell them I'm going to be a day late.
Many had to postpone their trips or wait for hours in lines at airports. And airport officials say there are still some delays and suggest you call specific airlines for flight information. The cold weather didn't keep an estimated 1 million deer hunters out of the woods in Pennsylvania today. Antlered deer season started, and when it ends on December 14th, 70,000 deer will be killed. This one in Raccoon State Park was one of the first to be harvested in the state. Westmoreland County, heavy snows in the mountains near Ligonier didn't keep the hunters away either.
Already the first day of deer season has registered its share of tragedy, the most bizarre accident being this one in Fayette County. A New York man was unloading his rifle in a German Township home when it fired. The bullet went through a wall of the home and hit his friend in the head, killing him. Then the bullet fragmented and hit another man in the arm. He's in the Uniontown Hospital tonight. 3 other hunters also lost their lives in accidents across the state. The man charged with killing 23-year-old Herbert Kleber a week and a half ago will stand trial. At a preliminary hearing today, detectives testified that Ronald O'Shea confessed to murdering Kleber at the Liberty Arcade. Kleber was found handcuffed to a freight elevator and hacked to death with a machete. Police say O'Shea went to collect a $20 loan from Kleber. When Kleber refused to pay, police say O'Shea killed him. A trial date hasn't been set. A bitter custody battle has placed this boy, 4-year-old Chris Duncan, in a juvenile home tonight. Duncan's stepfather was found guilty of the October 1984 kidnapping of the boy and his mother, Lori Marmo. Then, Lori Marmo was charged with sexually molesting Christopher. Since that charge, the boy has been staying with his maternal grandparents, but his natural father now wants custody. A juvenile judge put the boy in a home today until he makes a final judgment on that case.
Tomorrow morning, reputed mobster Tony Grosso will be arraigned on more gambling charges handed down by a statewide grand jury. Today, reportedly dying of cancer, Grosso videotaped testimony against State Trooper Donald Hughes. That trial will not start until February. Grosso's testimony accusing Hughes of taking money from the numbers boss is in exchange for a plea bargain. Grosso will avoid a jail sentence in the case. Today, Grosso also accused 3 Pittsburgh police officers, Assistant Superintendent Stephen Joyce, Vice Unit Commander William Giles, and Vice Detective James Toller, with keeping an unnamed bookie informed of police actions. All 3 officers have strongly denied the charges made by Grosso. A 1.5-year-long investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office ended today with indictments against NASA Administrator James Beggs and 3 present or former General Dynamics executives. The 39-page 7-count indictment accuses the 4 of reducing General Dynamics losses on an Army contract to build a prototype gun system. The contract was for $40 million. The indictment says $7.5 million was mischarged, resulting in just over a $3 million loss for the government.
Coming up next, an update on little Melody, the girl who wants a special Christmas gift.
Plus, a look back at the Beatles and their trip here 20 years ago.
What's going down at the hot spot? For one thing, the prices on labels like Mrs. Gilbert's margarine quarters. Get 2 one-pound packages for just 89 cents. Regular or sugar-free Royal Gelatin, just 99 cents, and a coupon gets you 4 boxes. Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, and Mountain Dew refreshers. A 2-liter bottle is only 97 cents plus tax. And check out those double coupons, only at
the Hot Spot Foodland for the best buys in town.
Called her up, told her the loan was approved. She cried.
You can't help but get an enormous amount of satisfaction out of making a loan.
It lights up the day. It's something that it brings a smile to your face right away.
Mellon Bank is very eager to give loans.
Any loan that I can grant, I will grant.
You can have the car. Here's the home improvement you always wanted.
That makes me feel good. That brightens up my day.
Mellon Bank has fast service, flexible terms, all kinds of loans, and very special people.
Oh, yes, I do like to be the bearer of good news.
Different. Exceptional value. Hills has this image maker hair dryer. You could pay more for one like it elsewhere, but at Hills, this image maker is just $9.97 every day. That's an exceptional value. And compare all ImageMaker appliances to national brands. Compare prices. You'll be surprised at Hill's everyday savings.
We're a different kind of department store. You ought to be shopping Hill. Check us out.
He's next. Stay there. Very nice. He's next. Evening wear. Very nice.
Having no choice is no fun. That's why at Wendy's, every hamburger isn't dressed the same. Choose fresh tomatoes, fresh lettuce, fresh onions, cheese, bacon, and more. Choose fresh. Choose Wendy's.
He's next. Swimwear.
Just days ago, we brought you the story of a young girl who needed money to fulfill a dream, the ability to communicate. Since then, many of you have called to ask, how can we help Melody Mikolajczyk?
Trouble Shooter Asa Aarons has been checking out ways of helping her, and tonight he has some good news for all of us.
It's really very, very good news, and I'll tell you, it's because of all of you folks. A lot has changed since we first told you the story of Melody Mikolajczyk. She's the girl in Irwin afflicted with muscular dystrophy and cerebral palsy. Melody cannot walk or talk, but she can communicate using a voice synthesizer. It's an ingenious computer. The disabled can carry on conversations through the use of color-coded buttons. Melody's brief training period on the machine opened a whole new world for her. But they are expensive. This girl needs $3,000 to have a voice of her own.
Melody, is this the machine that you learned to use in school? And you know how to use one now? Okay. Is this the one you want? Okay. Would it mean a lot to you?
Well, since that report, we have been deluged with calls from people wanting to donate money to help her get that machine, and today we came up with a sponsor for this fundraising drive. Paul King of the Jeanette Lions Club has set up a special bank account through PMB to raise the funds. It is called, appropriately enough, the Melody Fund, so please send your donations to the Melody Fund, Jeanette Lions Club, P.O. Box 96, Jeanette, PA, and don't forget the zip code, it's 15644. Because this is a nonprofit group, your donations are tax deductible. So we hope all the folks who've been calling us and stopping me on the street and wanting to know where to send their money, we'll send it on in there, and we'll keep you updated.
Way to go, Asa.
Kind of makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure does.
Thanks, Asa.
Well, if you've been watching Channel 11 tonight, no doubt you saw the NBC docudrama John and Yoko about the life and times of the late Beatle John Lennon. Tonight, Night Beat reporter Howard Thompson found a local disc jockey who remembers the Beatles very well.
The Beatles' box office smash hit A Hard Day's Night was released in 1964. In August of that year, the song was at the top of the record charts. 1 month later, the Fab Four arrived in Pittsburgh. WHYW DJ Chuck Brinkman introduced the group at the Civic Arena.
It was one of the most unique experiences that I've ever had in radio because I guess it was like when Elvis first came on the scene that just everything was the Beatles, like everything was Elvis at the time. Pittsburgh was one of the only cities where you could actually go to the airport and watch the plane taxi right up to within 15 feet of everybody. So we had practically every kid in Allegheny County cut school that day. There were about 30,000 at the airport.
From the early days to the period of psychedelic sights and sounds, John always seemed to be the focal point of everyone's attention, especially during his ups and downs with Yoko. But like most people, Pittsburghers remember the music.
They started a whole new trend in our society, not only the way of music, but the way of dress. We've changed our whole way of thinking because of the Beatles.
It was 21 years ago, and the Beatles came to Pittsburgh for their only appearance. And would you believe today, in 1986, their albums are still selling in record stores like this one. Oasis Records in the North Hills sells at least 6 Beatles albums a week.
It reflects an era in a person's life when, you know, when they were growing up, and it just brings back a lot of memories.
And even after his tragic death, a part of John Lennon lives on. Howard Thompson, Channel 11 News, Night Beat.
The singer who left his heart in San Francisco stopped in Pittsburgh tonight. Tony Bennett rehearsed at Heinz Hall tonight, preparing for his concert there tomorrow. Bennett says he loves performing and that he learns something different every day from it. He now spends most of his time in concert throughout the country, in Canada, Europe, Japan, and the Middle East. He's also been honored with 5 Royal Command performances. No royal performances that I'm aware of, but still a pretty Pretty good guy.
Well, I remember my father singing me Tony Bennett songs.
How'd he do?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
I see. The field is narrowing tonight, you're telling us.
Yeah, there was one very leading candidate for this job that has kind of dissipated. At least one candidate for the Pitt job has eliminated himself from the competition. That story and the glorious Penguin highlights when we come back.
Hi, I'm Rocco Viola. Let me tell you how to get the best values for food. It's simple. Shop Viola's food stores with meet 'em or beat 'em pricing. That's right, meet 'em or beat 'em. Check the price on any advertised special from any supermarket, and Viola's food stores will meet it or beat it. You always save at Viola's with meet 'em or beat 'em pricing, and you can take that to the bank.
Yay, Rocco!
We've got turbos, we've got wagons, style and luxury too. Chrysler Famous got the car for you.
Now get 8.6% financing or $500 cash back on Chrysler LeBaron GTS. And ask your dealer about the discount air conditioning package.
Chrysler Famous got the car for you. Chrysler Famous got the car for you.
Different.
Check us out.
Exceptional value. Hills has this image maker hair dryer. You could pay more for one like it elsewhere, but at Hills, this image maker is just $9.97 every day. That's an exceptional value. And compare all image maker appliances to national brands. Compare prices. You'll be surprised at Hills' everyday savings.
We're a different kind of department store. You ought to be shopping here. Check us out.
Poor Santa, the night before Christmas and you have a cold.
My nose is so sore. I look like Rudolph.
Here, open this.
Puffs? But we've used these for centuries.
With that sore nose, you need puffs. They're softer.
They are softer.
Puffs are puffed to be softer. They're thicker.
Just in the nick of time.
Puffs, the softer way to blow. Now in holiday packs, too.
Well, don't look now, but the Penguins are making a dogged run at respectability. They have beaten the New York Rangers in back-to-back encounters, winning at Madison Square Garden tonight 6-0. Doug Shedden got them started with a power play effort as he came from behind the goal to surprise John Van Beesbrook. It was Shedden's 13th of the year. Then, assisted by Terry Ruskowski and Craig Simpson, Ted Nolan scored his first goal as a Penguin. That made it 2-0 at the end of a period. Then, second period action, Willie Lindstrom with a centering pass for Dave Hannon, who was all alone in front. It was 3-0 Pens. Then it was Mike Bullard on a power play for his 10th goal of the year. The Penguins did not allow this lead to evaporate as they did Saturday at the arena. 6-0 the final. The Pens are just 2 points now out of fourth place and only 4 out of third. What a terrific start for Jim Saddleton's Duquesne Dukes. After whipping Robert Morris on Saturday, the Dukes spanked IUP tonight before 1,600 at the arena, 79-52. Jonas Chaney has the story.
The Big Indians had plenty of war paint for tonight's battle with Duquesne, but the outcome was never really in question. The Dukes led by 10 midway through the first half. The margin climbed to 22 after freshman Brian Shanahan came off the bench to score 4 straight buckets. And in the second half, Duquesne's lead would soar to 35. IUP's coach had hoped to use the clock against Duquesne to gain some much-needed time. The strategy failed.
You know, we wanted to try and keep as much pressure on them as we possibly could because we wanted a real up-tempo game and a fast game, and we thought that that would be to our advantage.
I think I kind of overpowered them a little bit on the boards, and that's our whole game plan, is to run the ball up and down the court, and you know, it worked really well, but we got a lot of points on the breakers.
And then, of course, there was that awesome Duquesne defense.
We went to the 1-3-1 with the idea that it might shake them because they had 2 freshman guards in there a lot of time, and I don't think they've probably seen that for a while. So they probably learned something out of it, too, by the same token. I think we did, too.
So the Dukes now take their show on the road to Rutgers Wednesday. Can they do it again?
If we play well and we play as aggressive as we possibly can, then we'll win down there, too.
At the Civic Arena, I'm Jonas Chaney, Channel 11 News, Night Beat.
Robert Morris is now 0-2 after losing an OT to Army tonight, 51-50. The final, Oberlin defeated W&J 81-75. You can eliminate one candidate for the head coaching job at Pitt. In fact, if memory serves me correctly, he was the Post-Gazette's 3-1 favorite. The contract of Johnny Majors has been extended through the 1991 season by officials at Tennessee. That would seem to make Pat Jones an even stronger candidate, and Channel 11 News has learned that Jones will meet with Pitt AD Ed Bozick this Wednesday in Dallas. It is presumed that the Oklahoma State head coach will be offered the Pitt job. It was a matchup that everyone was waiting for, and so far Danny Marino has had the best of it. This 33-yard strike to Matt Moore gave the Dolphins a 7-0 lead over undefeated Chicago tonight, but the Bears came right back. Steve Fuller to speedster Willie Gault, 69 yards in all. It set up the first Chicago score of the game. They were 7-7. But midway through the second quarter, it was Marino to Mark Clayton, who made a dazzling run after he caught the ball. Watch this great play by Clayton down to the 3-yard line, face mask out of bounds. It's now third quarter, and Miami leads the Bears 38-17. That is not a misprint. Finally, this is the age of 300-pound blocking backs, of course. Meet Buffalo Bills defensive tackle Bruce Smith, who weighs just 285. Yesterday, he blocked for running back Joe Cribbs on the Bills' only touchdown of the afternoon. They lost to San Diego, however, 40-7. Penn State is number 1 in UPI. Oklahoma's number 2. You know what that means, don't you? If Oklahoma beats SMU Saturday, national championship on 11, New Year's night.
Good. Sounds good.
Why are you smiling from ear to ear?
It can't be because of the weather.
Certainly not.
That's something that Dennis is going to tell us about.
Yeah, go ahead, Dennis. It's all yours.
Well, I was going to read a listing of record cold temperatures, but the wind up here has been tearing my copy in half. But suffice it to say, it feels every bit as cold as it is in the rest of the country here right now because of the chill factor. And we'll bring you up to date on a wintry forecast in just a moment.
And the wind fills the sails, and off she goes.
Norman Rockwell captured America's seafaring past forever. Now Long John Silver's brings it to you. This holiday season, buy any meal and get a collector's edition Norman Rockwell porcelain tankard for $1.79. Each week will feature a new seafarer illustration. So come to Long John Silver's and start your Rockwell collection today.
He's a beauty, Grandpa.
We're number 1, and we've earned it. We're Benson Lincoln Mercury, Pennsylvania's #1 Lincoln Mercury dealer. The car you've been waiting for, the striking new Mercury Sable, is the ultimate road car value. Aerodynamic design and front-wheel drive blend shape and performance into this 6-passenger driver's sedan. The 1986 Mercury Sable. Sophisticated, contemporary. Benson Lincoln Mercury. We won't be satisfied till you are. Route 51 South, minutes from Century 3.
When you're in the business of saving lives, you better not let your transmission die. That's why many ambulance fleets go to AMCO, because AMCO does better than fix your transmission. They rebuild it to perform like new. Ambulances can't take unnecessary risks. Should you? Go where you know it's better than fixed. It's AMCO, AA, MCO.
There's still a chance to win during Steeler Touchdown Sweepstakes and get weekly specials too at Shop and Save. This week, Green Giant frozen niblets corn, mixed vegetables, or sweet peas, just 89 cents. Blue Bonnet margarine in the 1-pound box of quarters, just 49 cents. Purina Mainstay dog food in the 20-pound bag, $3.99. And buy 1 bottle of Fleischmann's corn oil at the regular price and get a second one free. Save even more every week with Shop and Save's double coupons.
Good evening. I tell you, you wouldn't send a night out on a dog like this, but here I am atop Television Hill in the elements once again with the snowflakes flying, but really not accumulating here in the greater Pittsburgh area. Quite another matter up north, though, where they now have 8 inches on the ground at Meadville in Crawford County. Let's take a look at the old chill chart here. The wind chills have been really kind of all over the board. They range from 10 to 40 below, depending on where you are and how the wind is blowing, but that's kind of the way we can expect it to go. And that kind of crosses the boundary into the danger category, so you really have to dress in layers and bundle up if you're going to be out and about tonight and during the first half of tomorrow till the winds die down. On the bar graph, the temperature really has not changed. We'll get to that in just a moment, but you can see the snow shower pattern continues right around greater Pittsburgh. It even crosses the line. They've had some good snows up at Youngstown and just north of Wheeling. This has all been caused by northwesterlies coming off the lake and continues to move southeast at about 25 miles per hour. So it'll be penetrating the Laurel Mountains, where they'll probably get a half a foot or more before the night is through. Now on the bar graph, 20 degrees now. The high, 52 today. That was after midnight this morning. And the low for the day is 20. The normal high is 43. The normal low is 28. Just a trace of snowfall so far for Pittsburgh, and it seems like it's been snowing half of the day, which it has. Look at the storm. New one forming out in the southwest. Moving in on the Rockies area, and that's another thing we got to watch. It may give us a good shot of snow along about Wednesday. We have clouds all over the place now. Some clearing setting in southwestern Ohio, but still the snow hangs on. 6 to 10 inches up near Lake Erie shoreline. As they get that lake effect production, you can see these are all the areas that have been reporting snow during the past hour or so, and it's a good cluster in the eastern Great Lakes region and the Ohio Valley area. This cold front went through early this morning and really brought those winds with it, a peak gust of 68 miles per hour over at Johnstown, PA. 20 degrees now. The chill factor at the airport is 13 below. I guarantee you it's colder than that here. Winds west at 23 out at the airport, 70% humidity. The pressure at 30.05 and rising. Your AccuWeather forecast says flurries and squalls tonight, a low of 13, an inch or so here in the greater Pittsburgh region. Blustery and clearing tomorrow. A high of 23 after some early flurries activity. Winds will subside. Clouding up tomorrow night, the low near 15. Your 5-day forecast says a chance of snow Wednesday, some flurries left over Thursday, and a mixture of sun and clouds Friday and Saturday with temperatures all week long after tomorrow into the 30s. And that's the way it looks from the hill tonight. Don't travel if you don't have to for a while, okay?
You come on inside and get warm.
Oh, I'd love to.
We've got the heater on. There's more to come tonight.
We'll have the president as a pinup calendar? We'll be back in a moment.
Watch The Wheel of Fortune tomorrow at 3 here on Channel 11 WPXI TV Pittsburgh.
Last week, it was dinner at Denny's with Nancy Jean and Marilyn fried chicken for two. Chicken Dijon and a foreign film was the right call for Alicia. I finally had lunch with Lois over stir-fried chicken. Their chicken cacciatore did it for Wanda. Denny's, for $3.99, I think I'm in love with all 8 of your chicken dinners.
Denny's, 8 chicken dinners, only $3.99.
Do you like chicken?
Watch as the Dodge Boys show you how to save $500 on Aries SE for 86. You still get the 5-year or 50,000-mile protection plan and front-wheel drive dependability Aries has become famous for. But what's new for 86 is $500 in savings when you order the options you prefer. Dodge Aries K. It's still one of the best 6-passenger values you can buy. See how affordable fun can be? Save $500 on Aries.
They do.
La Deneuve on La Salle.
La magnifique La Salle. La sensationnelle La Salle. La romantique La Salle. La superbe La Salle. La masculine La Salle.
La Gorgeous. La Salle for women like Catherine Deneuve and men like you.
Available at Shaw's Jewelers.
Another famous American speaks up for America.
They said man would never fly. But we did. All it took was a little hard work. The folks at that new TV show, America, the one with Sarah Purcell and McLean Stevenson, they think that way too. Every day they're bringing you more fun friends, new trends, and non-stop good times. Non-stop? I like that. So come on, watch. And tell your friends. Hey, would 2 brothers named Wright steer you wrong?
Discover America.
Tomorrow at 4.
Here on Channel 11.
We all know President Reagan had several jobs before he entered the Oval Office, and now you can see a sampling of his activities in the new 1986 Ronnie Calendar. The calendar features Ronald Reagan, the screen idol, before his White House days. He hawks shirts and cigarettes. But the creator of the calendar says the April entry, showing Reagan as the 20th century Adonis in 1940, is definite cheesecake material and could wind up as a pinup for women of all ages. By the way, the calendar goes for $7.95.
That's Night Beat for Monday. Thanks for being with us tonight.
We hope you have a pleasant evening and can stay warm tonight. Good night.